In this episode, I'm going to break down the real reason people started paying attention to my work and not just to my strategy and not just to my offers, but really like looking into how I started showing up, how I positioned myself, and really fully stepping into the identity of the one. This was really like a turning point that took me from being a business coach in the million business coaches that are out there to really be recognized as the best in what I'm doing and not being compared to anyone else because no one does what I do. Hi, I'm Gwen, the strategy queen. I have coaches and experts build evergreen sales funnel, launch strategies, and advanced sales system that brings in consistent income without having to sell 24/7 or be glued to their phone. And today we are talking about the moment people starting paying attention, the shift in my identity, in my presence, in the messaging that completely changed the way I was perceived and remembered online. And I'm going to share all of this with you because this is a conversation I'm having a lot with my clients at the moment. This is also the reason I'm going to announce at the end of today's episode a new offer that is called Becoming the One that I'm going to host starting August 22nd. This is a 1 week live experience with me to shift your identity, your presence, your messaging, and become the one that everyone is going to pay attention to in the business. And why I'm sharing all of this with you is because I have done that multiple times in my business to repositioned my business, my identity, my presence, my offers. And it hasn't always been a success. And I have been reflecting the last few weeks on really what happened, why I had so much success when with some positioning and some completely flopped. And I actually found what is the difference. And I want to teach all of you this, share with you and having like very deep conversation on how can we shift our messaging and our positioning to become the one and stop being compared to a million other people on the planet. There was a time when I feel like I was doing everything right in my business. I was doing everything right on paper, and perhaps that's what you also feeling. Personally, I had built multiple successful businesses before having this one. My clients were having amazing results. I was consistently showing up. So it's not like I was ghosting my business. Like I'm someone who is very consistent. And I'm not saying you need to be, by the way, to be successful, but in my personality, I am. And so, of course, in my business, I was. And people were like, yeah, you need to be consistent. I was like, yeah, I am consistent. I was sharing value. I was running programs. I was delivering transformation. And I still felt like it was what I was saying wasn't 100% what I wanted to share, or I felt like I was saying what I wanted to say. I wasn't actually feeling like I was gatekeeping some part of myself, but there was something that wasn't right. And I could see it also in having like a lukewarm audience, which was not always the case. I know that sometimes I did a positioning and boom, everyone was here, everyone in front of my face, joining my offers. And also what happened to me recently when I repositioned my business again. And I was like, what is happening? And so I knew like when I did a repositioning like last year in 2024, and I was looking for those words, you know, like how to articulate what I'm doing, how to articulate who I am, what is the depth of my work. And of course, like by articulating it more and more, like you get better at it. But honestly, like what I see with my recent positioning and the one in the past that I've worked is that it wasn't about taking the time to articulate it again and again and again. Okay. So of course you get better at this, but there was also some mental shift that I needed to be doing. And this time by doing them super fast, like, and what I'm going to share with you, of course, it has helped so much. If you do feel that you need more support with becoming the one than just listening to a podcast, by the way, and want to be in a Telegram experience with me for like 1 week, have calls, hot seat coaching, then becoming the one is definitely for you. There is a very, very special price for pre-sale now. So you can send me a DM on Instagram immediately right now as you're listening to this, or you can just see the link in the show notes. What I wanted to say here is that I felt really like when it wasn't the best positioning, let's say for me, that I was like a secret, like my clients were having amazing results, but I was still like a secret. And my people were signing to my offers even now. Like all of my clients signed up to all of my offers almost, because like once they have one foot in the door, like then they stay forever. Yes. And I was just like amazing. And that's why in almost all my businesses, I built very solid and robust offer suite, because I knew that when someone come in my world, like they go into all of my offers. But I felt like still like flying under the radar, and like in the world in general, like people, yeah, liked my content a little bit, they definitely complimented me on like, oh wow, like what you're doing is so good. And everyone was telling me like, oh, you should charge more for this, or like you're so underrated or whatever, but like it's not like I was getting like flooded with DMs, or like as soon as I was releasing an offer, like boom, like everyone was just jumping in. Like now I wasn't like fully booked the moment I just opened a spot. I wasn't attracting people who were already sold before we even spoke. Then now, like I just opened like the funnel mini mind. We started last week, and many women who actually joined the mini mind did not know anything about me. Like they followed me. Well, they discovered my profile. They clicked on my profile, my Instagram account. They read like some posted, some post. They liked, and I could see it on my notification. And then they either send me a DM like, "Is it too late to go into the funnel mini mind?" Or they bought right away. And they were not following me. They didn't know me, but because they saw instantly that I was the one that is going to help them with their problem in the way that they want to be helped with their problem, which for here was to build funnels. And to build funnels, by the way, that convert, you need very good positioning and messaging. That's also why, like with the work that I do with launching and with building also backend systems like funnels, we work a lot on positioning and messaging. Of course, that makes sense. And so here, like not losing my point, like I was really remembering that I wasn't attracting before this moment, before this repositioning, attracting people the second, like they would come on my account and boom, jump into like $1,000 offer. No, they were not. And I remember thinking like, I know I'm good. And, I like really thinking like, I know I am so good at this, but why does it still feel like people, they don't see me this way? Or like my coach or like my clients saying like, oh my God, Gwen, like this is so amazing. Like what you're delivering, you should charge 3 times more for this, blah, blah, blah. And then I was feeling that it was not how I was portraying myself online was not clear enough for people who are not my clients to see this. And so the problem wasn't my work, okay? The problem wasn't my offers. It was my positioning, and my positioning hadn't caught up with my wisdom, with my power, with the work I was actually doing behind the scene with my clients. So really what changed here wasn't like a strategy. I can't say like that I didn't post more. So with this positioning especially, I posted a lot more. But every time in my business that I did a repositioning, especially actually a successful repositioning, I have posted a lot of content. Why that? Because I could just not shut up. I was just like, when I repositioned myself as the strategy queen, funnels, affiliate, launch strategies, like on this, my business exploded. I did that in May and went fully booked in all my VIP days and bam, 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 like all the offers that I started to create on this theme. And what I feel is like I posted a lot of content, but when I say a lot is like probably in the weekdays. Sometimes I posted twice a day, and I think especially in July, like I probably did, maybe not in the weekend, but I did like schedule post and post it even in the weekend, and sometimes even wrote something and post it in the weekend, which by the way is something like old Gwen, like past Gwen, will have not done, because we don't do anything in the weekend. Where now I actually don't give a fuck of when I'm doing something. I just do it when I want to do it. But like coming back on this, I don't want to say that I didn't post more, because that's the first thing that came to my mind, because I actually did. But what changed was first how I saw myself. And so I saw myself not as a coach, a business mentor. And I saw myself from the outside. I saw myself for who I truly am. And this is something that also has been reflected to me by my coach, by my mentor, by people that I am around, which really, for me, helped me having this mirror put in front of my face and be like, Gwen, oh my God, like you are such a genius at this, like what you have just explained, like, and I started like seeing myself like this genius that I am in the thing that I am. And it's not that I know everything, right? We don't know everything, but we are very good at something. And so I started expressing that in every part of this in my brand. And I stopped blending in. Like if you look at my branding also from before May and after May, a lot of things have changed. Of course, the visual has changed, but also the energy has changed. What I'm saying has changed. I stopped watering myself down. I stopped saying the same thing as everyone else on the fucking internet. I stopped performing also, like, and thinking, what do I need to say? Even if like I've never been in the what do I need to say to buy, because I don't really believe in that. But what do I need to say maybe for people to see me, to stand out? No, I stopped actually all of this and not caring about people's expectation. And I started sharing actually boldly my opinions, my result, not because I needed to prove something, but because I knew what I was bringing to the table. And what I bring to the table is so huge that I have women who are already at making six-figure, multi-six-figure, seven figures, hiring me as they're scaling to those numbers because they see that what I'm bringing to the table, no one is bringing it. And the same as I hire other queens that are the same, scaling to seven figures, multi seven figures, or even multi six figures or six figures, depending on what is their geniuses, because it's not the income that is important here, is to really see that we all have geniuses. And I always say that to my clients, like queens hire queens. Yeah. And this is why we all also start hiring each other to build more confidence, to have a body like this, to have your mind like this, or like there's so many things. And not being sidetracked here, but like it wasn't just about what I posted. Okay, it was the way that I showed up in every single room, which means like online, but also offline. It means also in rooms where I am in programs in like, or in mastermind in, with the energy of like, I am the one you have been looking for if this is what you want right now. This is also why I have so many women inside containers I'm in who hire me to have them with their funnels, because they know that I am the queen of funnels. And that's when people started listening. That's when like my content began really working for me. And that's why also I couldn't shut up and I have so many content pieces that I just shared all the time. And that's also when I stopped like really thinking about visibility all the time and having it, which is like something that is super complicated sometimes to understand, because we're like, I want so much this, but by chasing it, we not having it. Yeah, by chasing, let's say, the visibility, we start doing things that we think are going to lead us to have more visibility, which actually reduce our visibility, because instead of doing what is here in our heart and in our voice and in our brain, we start doing things expecting these things to give us something, which doesn't work. Yeah, the same as like if we want to be recognized or be seen as a leader, we are like, okay, how is a leader showing up? I look at other leaders, they show up like this, so I need to show up like this, which no, you don't, because if not, you start to be a copycat and not a leader anymore, because no leaders can be compared with each other. I hope that makes sense. If so you hear, like, so if you want like people to immediately get it, and I think like this is something that I see with a lot of my clients also, is that you want people to come on your podcast, on your YouTube channel, on your Instagram, in your world, like, and immediately get it. You want them to know who you are, like what you do, what they need, from you, And so here is exactly the shift that I will do if this is what I wanted. And these are the shifts that I did myself. Okay. And of course, this is just one podcast episode. So I'm sure I could not shut up again about it and talk for hours about this. But these are the points that I think will be the most potent for you right now. So the first thing is that you have to stop trying to sound like the others in your niche. And this is something that has been reflected to me also by others when we were having a discussion, and and I'm going to be very transparent with you. I was saying, like, how can I differentiate myself from this person? And the amazing women in this space were like, Gwen, the whole thing is that you don't try to actually differentiate yourself from the other person. Like, who cares? and this was really important to me to really like embody also what I'm sharing with you right now, is that it's not about, of course, comparing ourselves to someone else, but it's also not about differentiating ourselves. What can I say? What can I do so people see me differently at this other person? Just be yourself and they will see you as an other person. This is really the thing that is so important, to not really focus on how am I going to differentiate myself, but instead to think about what is important for you to be sharing at this time. Going back into my train of thoughts after my little one came in full transparency again. So really for me, like going back into like having those women mirroring this to me, it is so important to just stop trying to be seen as something specific, trying to be seen as different as this person. Okay. And trying to stop like being like, how can I sound like other people, or how can I sound less like them, and just not caring. If your content right now blends in, okay, and you probably know it, like it doesn't matter how often you would post, okay. I could have been posting like twice a day. If my content was the same as everyone, I would have not stand out. People would have not come onto my account, like read the last 10 posts, like, follow me, and just jumped into my newest offer and buy all the upsells and all of the things. Here, something that is also important to see is that clarity and convictions are what make you stand out. Okay, clarity on what you are doing, who you are, who you believe you are, and conviction. Okay, conviction of like, how much do you believe that you are the one? How much do you believe like people need your work? A second point here that I wanted to share is that I don't really like to say you have to, or like you need, because of course, like you can do whatever at the end. But when thinking about your repositioning and thinking about repositioning yourself, think about it to do it around what you really do. Okay, what you really do, and what you really do behind the scene. What is your genius? We think sometimes that our clients or ideal clients or people on the internet won't get it. And because we think people are not going to get it, we are still selling the surface level work that we do rather than talking about the real transformation our offer is doing and that we do inside our offer. And I feel when we own that, people feel it. This is a forever work also. And I'm going to give you an example because just before coming here, actually, I was thinking about becoming the one and what I'm going to put in really inside. And I was just thinking like, oh, I would love on day two to do to finish the call with a hypnotherapy. Everyone that is inside my Elevate Mastermind has access to the Mindset Portal, which is a program that I built with NLP tools, visualization, lots of hypnotherapy, and it's all around energetic embodiment and identity work. And it's not something that I talk about in my content that much, and I don't know why. Like it just popped in, and I was just scared. I was feeling scared of sharing the hypnotherapy. And I was just like, oh, maybe I do it, but maybe I don't talk about it in the sales page, like in the checkout page. And then saying it, and I wrote it in a message in one of the mastermind I'm in. And I was just like, Gwen, this is so stupid because this is actually what you really do. Like, yes, of course, I teach all of my clients like launching strategies that they've never heard about, like very innovative, and also like funnels that never no one builds funnel like I do. But like to have them implement all of the things that we do together for like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months that they're with me, like we use a lot of mindsets because their mindset is on point that they're going to implement the strategy and have result. And I was just like, Gwen, why are you why are you hiding that what you really do is, yes, the work of balancing front facing strategies and back end strategies, but you do also all of the mindset work behind this, and this is the depth of your work. It's not just like building a funnel, and it never has been about just building a funnel. And we have to own this, and I'm sharing this with you because I am a leader, and I am a leader that leads with full transparency. And this is something that you have to think about it, so when you do your repositioning, think about positioning yourself around what you really do. Okay, what you really do, because when you own that, people are going to feel it. People are going to feel how much depth you have in your work. Another thing that I wanted to share with you around your repositioning, if or your messaging changing, if you are in this, is that you want to choose what you want to be known for. And this can be difficult because we can be like, oh yeah, I want to be known for myself, because when you're building a personal brand, like you want to think that your business is going to evolve. Okay, if you're building a personal brand business like me, your brand is evolving. That's why we have to do repositionings. That's why I have done a repositioning now. I have done another one in October last year, 2024, which is not that long ago, like less than a year ago. And I just repositioned my business again because we evolve. And so when we build a personal brand business only on one thing that we are currently doing, almost like a content pillar, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but you also want to have a bit like an iceberg. Okay, so you want that your business, there is the iceberg that people see, and there is all of the depth, or like a tree, like you have the trunk, the leaf, the flowers, the fruits, all of it, but you also have roots. And I don't think that it means that we have to show absolutely everything, like the same that I use hypnotherapy, and I'm going to share about it in like Becoming the One. But it's not something that I spend my entire time talking about on my content, because what I want to be known for is to be the strategy queen. And I am the strategy queen. Okay. And when I did, by the way, this repositioning, if it's something that you haven't heard me saying, is my clients since 2021 tell me, Gwen, you're the strategy queen. And it took me 4 years to own it. Yeah, to own it and to simply say, this is what I want to be known for, to be the strategy queen. So, of course, everything that I bring on the surface of the iceberg is being the strategy queen. Yeah. But there is an iceberg. So there is a lot of things under the water also. So I would really think about, okay, I'm building a personal brand business. I'm not afraid of having to reposition again myself in the future. I'm an evolving being. This is going to happen. But I want to choose something now that I want to be known for, and not what sounds the best. Yeah. Not what is going to give me the most like, not what I see people have already done. So the market has been tested, because if something has never been done, that means that people don't want it. No. What do you want to be hired for on the spot? Build everything from that core, like build everything around this. What do you want to be known for? Another point that I want to share with you is that you need to stop making your business mean something about you. Okay. Yes, our business, especially when we build not a product business, but like a personal brand business with offers that are reflecting our gift, our wisdom, which obviously is evolving every single minute, because our wisdom and our gift are, yes, rooted in our depth, but it's also evolving with what we are living, experiencing, learning, teaching, talking about. Yeah. So I want you to understand that your business, for me, and that's my opinion, it is an extension of us, because that's why it evolves with us. But we need to stop making things that happen in our business mean something about us. We need to stop looking at someone liking a piece of content or not liking it or commenting it means something about us, because it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them. Their own understanding and world, they think this is positive, this is negative, and they start to comment on it. Or they feel good on this day, they will support you. They feel bad, they will send like a bad comment. It has nothing to do about us. And so, yes, it is an extension of us, but what happens in our business has to also not ripple too much in. And so when we pivot our business, we have to say this, why I'm talking about personal here with like professional almost, is that pivoting your business doesn't mean you were confused about yourself. And then suddenly you realized who the fuck you are, even if we're going to talk about this perhaps. But like here, I feel like taking a moment in your business life to pause and to reflect on what you want to be known for, and actually pivoting towards the real you and showing the depth of your work. There's nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with you. Okay. And I feel like this is actually the moment before your next level reveals itself, when you take this moment and everything comes from this. For some people, they're going to need like a big pause. And I've seen like some of my friends in business, but also like clients, like having a big pause before like repositioning, the time to understand themselves where they're at. Fair enough. There are some people like me who will reposition immediately. And then I figure it out on the moment. I'm going to communicate, bam, 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 all the time on it until it comes alive to like what I wanted to really share. We all develop this differently, but like my point here is that this is not personal. Pivoting your business is not necessarily mean that you're pivoting yourself. You have been the same person, but you are shedding. Yeah. And we have to be shedding again and again the layers, a little bit like we are like an onion, and you may have heard that in the past, like, and you have so many layers, and maybe like there was a layer you want to let go of, the one on the surface that dried off, and like maybe now is the time to let go of it. And it may be a quick process for you, it might be long, but there is nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with living on the side a little part of you, or a part of an identity that you thought was you, because you are a complex being. The last point that I wanted to share here about positioning is that we want to really, how to say that? We want to see like a brand identity that is going to match our energy. And when we speak about brand identity, and I'm going to talk more about this in Becoming the One, your brand, and if you look at my branded from like, let's say last October or last August, okay, even like, let's take a year, it's August now. August 2024, my branding with my branding today is completely different. Am I a completely different person? No. Am I evolving? Have I evolved in a year? Oh, yes. I hope you have evolved in a year. So of course, my brand identity has evolved because I evolved, and because I'm having a personal brand business. And when my personal person is evolving, my brand is going to evolve. Yeah. So here we want that it matches the same energy. The energy I had a year ago was completely different. So the energy now in my brand, in identity that you can see, is completely different. And that's not just the colors, that's not just the fonts, okay? But that's, of course, your presence, how you show up, your voice, how are you talking? And of course, your positioning, a positioning that screams like she is the one. There is no one like her. I have never heard someone telling me, oh, you sound exactly like this other person. Not at least since I have done this new positioning, because I do not sound like anyone else, because no one else is doing what I'm doing. And that's really also what is going to make your content convert before you even pitch anything. That's why I have people jumping into my offers that I haven't even talked to them. They start following me and then they jumped into my offers. Now, if you are in a season where you feel like everything is a bit blurry, and I'm saying this because some of my clients have used this word recently, blurry. If you feel like you are letting go of an old version of your business and you haven't fully stepped into the new one, and that might not be because of clarity, but you feel like you are in the messy middle. You feel like, yes, there was an old version, there was a new version, but you're kind of like a bit in between both of them. If your gifts are strong, okay, and you know that you have gifts and things to give to your people and you're honing them, but your positioning isn't clearly talking about those amazing gifts that you have, you're not a lost soul there. You are evolving, okay? You are evolving and you are in the exact moment where it's coming, and you can feel it. But you have here the option, and your nervous system has this option to just stay in the comfort of the past that is not going to give you the result that you want, or to step into the unknown timeline, the unknown result, the unknown, how am I going to articulate what I'm doing, because I am in this messy middle. Own it. Own that you are in this messy middle. And the work now is absolutely not about finding your new niche, because no one cares about a new niche or choosing like the right content pillars between education and whatever. It's about remembering who the fuck you are and becoming the version of you who already is known for that. Okay, but you have to remember who the fuck you are if you want people to know who the fuck you are. The one whose presence is going to turn head. People are like talking about how behind the scene, positively, sometimes negatively, but talking about this person who has a very clear messaging, who has full conviction, who doesn't need to explain what she's doing because people land on her account and already know. This is the identity of someone, and this someone is already you, okay? You already have this identity. You are in the in-between, okay? You already here. You do need, however, to start owning where you are at and doing the work of remembering who the fuck you are. And this is what we're going into, becoming the one. Okay, we're going to do this. If you are done feeling like the best kept secret, because that sucks big time, and you're ready to finally be seen as the woman people want to hire, not just the one like who is great at what she does, okay? Come join me inside Becoming the One. This is my 1 week live experience. I have never done something like this, and I have done tons of things. This is a 1 week live experience with me to help you position yourself as the one they remember, the one they refer, the one that they say yes to without needing your rebrand or another offer, just even as you are right now. We're going to fix the real reason your content, your funnels, your offers, your ads, everything is not converting the way that it should or that it could, and you know your potential. And you will walk away with knowing how to market yourself like the category of one you already are. This isn't a sales training, okay? I'm not doing a sales training. Like, this is a shift. And yes, there will be hypnotherapy. So we will have a big also unconscious, subconscious shift. We start August 22, and it's just $22 for the pre-sale. I'm going to put the price at any time up. Sign up now. This is going to change your business. What do you have to lose? I will see you there. Bye, amazing people.